It was spinning for a while there, but I think we're live now. What's up,
We're
Rae?
totally live.
Good morning to you, Rae. Good morning to you, BreAnn.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody watching. We are on Facebook. We are on Periscope, Twitter. We are on YouTube, and we are on Twitch. It is Friday, right? It is Friday, yes.
It's Friday, yes.
If you don't know, I'm Jeff with Teach Better Team. That's Rae Hewitt with the Teach Better Team. And our very special guest today is BreAnn Fennell, who is celebrating your brand new book. So that is so excited. So happy to have you here.
Whoa.
I knew I wasn't gonna do right. I had a gut feeling this morning. I'm like, I should let Rae lead us into that, and I didn't do it, and I regret it already. So go ahead, Rae.
You didn't give Bree the incredible aspect. He not only has a new book we're talking about, she's a Teach Better ambassador. She's an all-star educator. I mean, she is come on, Jeff.
I guess
poorly done.
I guess for me is Bree's so awesome. She doesn't even need that sort of introduction. It just comes with her. You can feel it coming through the live stream right now. And everyone's like, yeah, I get it. Even though Jeff was horrible at that, I get it.
Bree, you're amazing. I'm so glad that we're here. And yes, we are here, but really you are the one we are celebrating. Miss All-Star Author, Teach Better ambassador, education rock star. So excited to be here with you this morning.
I am excited to be here. I'm so happy that I get to go live with you guys this morning. You see my kids are kind of peeking in and out because they think it's super cool that I'm live.
It is
on
cool.
Facebook. Oh, and Twitch and Twitter.
And we're everywhere.
YouTube.
Yes. Well, first off, let me say hi to a few people here. We got Amanda jumping in. Nikki's here. Good to see ya. BreAnn, always awesome to see ya. Livia up early with us again.
Oh, I love her.
Becky's here. Hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Super excited. Just screaming your name right now. So I get it. So super excited to have everyone jumping in. Bree, how's your week going? So the book came out on Wednesday. You've been doing a bunch of stuff. How's the chaos of awesomeness? I think that's how I'm going to describe it because that's what I remember. It's kind of this chaos of but it's awesome. It's all good, obviously, but it is kind of crazy. Putting the book out and release it and trying to share it, and people want to talk to you about it. How are you doing right now? How are you handling all of that?
It has been great. It's been busy, but great. It's just this overwhelming feeling of putting something out there in the world that you feel really passionate about, and I can't be any more excited to work with the EduMatch creator, Sarah. She's just fantastic at what she does, and she's just so passionate about books and educators, and so she is just the perfect fit for me. I want to bring my book onto the screen. Yes, it's been great. It's been fun. Been sharing out some reviews from people that, oh my goodness, that I admire so much. And David Spencer was one of them. He got to come live with us on Wednesday night, and he's super funny. He's an Ohio guy in Oberlin. I was sharing some stuff out, his chalk art that he's been doing just to make people happy. Just amazing guy and so funny. Mandy was cracking up during his another great review on there that I was able to share, and it's crazy when people want to talk about your book. You guys, I have been around for so long and been such a fan of the Teach Better team, and I even have emails from when it was the grid method from Jeff. And, I've been a part in the background, just being a fan. And so to be a part of this close-knit family and to just have everybody, reaching out, whether it's on social media, I've gotten so many private messages that were so heartfelt just from different members of the team. And it just makes you really excited when other people want to celebrate something that you created.
Absolutely, it does. I do want to mention, Bree, I know we have so many things we're going to share. That was a great book launch party on Wednesday. Where can people get that if they're hearing that you had this awesome get together? I know Mandy was there. You had so many different guests. Is that still up on YouTube, right?
She did do it on YouTube, but also if you join the EduMatch private group, you can get that and support from other educators as well on Facebook.
Yeah. That's on Facebook. Good. Perfect. Because there was so many like funny moments in there. There were so many just heartfelt tidbits and so many things like that. So that would be a great resource for anybody who wants to celebrate your book even further, which of course they do.
There were some really big names on that line.
But not for the first 15 minutes. We were on like the first 15 minutes and we were like moved off.
we were the the opening act, right? To prep for the real acts. But Bree, I want to say that you have been around for a long time. I don't like the phrase of in the background. I think you've been in the foreground the whole time. Maybe you haven't been on the camera as much, but you've been a part of our community for forever. I don't even remember how it started, where you came from originally, like how we got connected, whatever. But I remember it being back. You said it yesterday when we talked. I'm like, yeah, it's been since the grid method days, like multiple years ago. So this is really cool to now be able to celebrate with you and stuff. It's such a cool thing.
Well, and now, Bree, you just can't go anywhere. Like, you join the family and you're stuck with us. It is what it is. So it sounds silly, but Jeff, we haven't even talked about the book yet. So can you?
No, yeah, let's talk about the book.
Tell us the title. What's the book about? Who's the audience? All the things.
I have the book title going across the bottom so that we remember that this is about the book. That it isn't about that. So,
okay.
Go ahead, Bree.
Okay, so my book is Play Yay Baby Talk, and my first book was Play Yay, and I was gonna bring it over here. So when I got this in hardcover, I was just absolutely thrilled. So Play Yay and Play Yay Baby Talk are based off of my sons, Lucas and Max. And Lucas keeps kind of poking over here. But if he gets a chance to be on camera, you want to come on over? Yeah, he's so excited.
Hey, buddy. The star right there. The star of the book.
So that's Lucas, and he is 8 years old now, but in the books he's featured as much younger, but they grow up fast. And
really do.
Play Yay Baby Talk talks about his journey of becoming a big brother. And so what was fun for me when writing it is I included all of these little tidbits of things that he said that were so funny when he was becoming a big brother. And one of my favorite ones is he said that his brother's stinky diapers smelled like canned garbage. And so I thought that was hilarious. But now I have this book not only to share with others, but it's like a little memory book for me, so I can always remember those funny things he said and how their bond started. And they are very close brothers, and so it's so sweet to see that. But I think that this book, if you're going to be a new parent and you have, the older sibling and you want a mentor text to help kind of introduce those topics, literature is so important for kids, to be able to see that somebody else is going through the same thing they are and have those open discussions with a little bit of humor. There's the other one. Oh, he just...
That was a quick cameo.
Yeah. So that's Max. And can you say hi? It's like so if you can introduce topics that are super important with literature, I think it just kind of eases those transitions and those fears that kids have. Yeah. Also, I am a first and second grade teacher in Ohio. And so we use books all the time, especially in small reading groups, to kind of introduce topics, but also to meet those different standards. So what I like about Play Yay is that it's in first person. So Lucas is telling the story. Mm-hmm. And so there's lots of interactive parts in the book. So he is telling you what needs to be done with the baby. And there's different things that he asks you to do to soothe the baby, sing a song or even rock the book back and forth. So it's not just a telling thing. It's an interactive. And that's what I'm all about when it comes to play. So even in our book, you get a chance to play along.
You get to play with the book. Like,
you get to play with the book.
Play with the book.
Well, how perfect is that? Because anytime you're using a mentor text or you're reading this to a student where it's like more appropriate for their age group, they want to play. Like, play is a huge part of not just learning, but like interacting and being a part of the whole experience. We're not just consumers. We need to be participants. And I love that that was brought in, because even as I was reading it and bringing this into my classroom as a mentor text for my older students, I love the idea of looking at different literature and saying, you can be a consumer and just listen to a story and learn from it, reflect, but you can also like actually be in the story and truly interact with the entire experience, Bree. And I thought this was so incredible that you included this element, because then it wasn't just about the idea of play, but about the fun of it as well.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people think that if they have young children and they're not, you always have this idea that they need to be like sitting in your lap and like enjoying this special moment. And then when you have kids and they are like, as soon as they start crawling or walking, it's like they're nonstop movers, and they're moving and they're learning and they're playing. And it doesn't look like that all the time. So yes, bedtime stories, maybe they're a little bit more calm, but if you're reading literature to your kids, and even if they're playing with blocks or they're running around the living room, you're showing them that books are important. You're giving them some good language skills. It does not have to look like, oh, they're sitting in my lap and we're having this special moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's great, because you're also emphasizing what you just shared, the importance of not just reading books at night. Like, you can incorporate books with your children. You can incorporate books with different content areas of all grade levels at any time throughout the day. You don't just need it to be a quiet experience. It should be a fun, playful experience.
Absolutely. And I think that we have, and I know this is like my launch, but I love building up other people. And like Jennifer Apple's book, I got a chance to go on and talk about like the character and excellence. So her book is so good for those SEL skills. Also, we have One Drop of Kindness. Lucas and I just read that. Cannonball Inn was another one that we enjoyed this summer. So there are so many good books out there by people who are dedicated educators in the field, and they want you to share those stories with their kids and with your students, because when you get a chance to put your thoughts and like your actual beliefs out in the world through a story, like the best thing that you can do to support one of your friends that has a book is to share that story. You know, read it to your kids. Let them know what your kids thought. Read them to your students. Follow them on Goodreads. All of those things.
I wanted to see if we can get, so the other day during your launch party, I think it was Dave that got you talking about sort of the role of play, the importance of play in school, and it was around recess and all these different ideas. And I'm not going to ask it, obviously, clearly not as well as Dave, but I'm hoping that I could spark that and get you kind of talking to that, because I know it's a passion of yours. I know it's something that you try to speak to people about. So can you share that for those that maybe didn't see you go on that the other night? It just got you super excited and super passionate about it, and kind of want to see that going. Can you share just what are your thoughts on that? Because I know that goes into a lot of so much of what you do. Yes,
absolutely. So I think that people are going to say that play needs to look different when we return to school. And I agree. I think it is going to look different. I don't think that it needs to look bad. I think that people are going to, in your classroom as the teacher, whatever vibe you're putting out into the classroom, the kids are going to pick up on that vibe. So if you're hesitant, they're going to feel that, and they're going to not feel like they can do things the same way. But if you just introduce it, just like any other rules or expectations that you introduce at the beginning of the year, like, we're still going to play. This is what it's going to look like. Here are our expectations. And just introduce it in that way. They're familiar with that, especially kids that have been going to school. So like, we're going to do it this way, and then just give opportunities to practice. And so one of the things that I talked about was having, this is Lucas's school box from this year, but having a toolkit for your kids that's already ready. So if you are a planner like me and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm never going to be able to do centers again. I'm never going to be able to give them those hands-on opportunities because it's not going to be safe. If you get a small school box, you can put things in there that you would normally use with your students. Like you can put in building blocks. You're allowed. So put in for the kids. And then I'm thinking like a rotation schedule. So you can have those in there you can have the same kit for a week. And then you leave those out, follow all your guidelines for sanitation, but you can still do those things if you are in person learning. And if you're not, these are great to send home with your kids so that they have something tangible to interact with. If you have a pickup time where they're picking up packets or picking up computers, you can have a pickup for your little hands-on school box. So that was just one of the ideas I had. I forget who shared it, but there are ideas now floating around about games that kids can play and still be socially distant. Yeah. Where, they can play air tag. I can just imagine the fights that are going to come out of air tag though. Like, no, I did tag you. You were running in the wrong direction, upwind, but I did tag you. So that's going to be a whole nother interesting thing. But that's the wonder about play is when you are giving kids permission to play, and especially recesses. We have 2 recesses a day, and I shouted out my principal, Nicole Brody, on our last live. She builds in that time so that we can take it. Those 2 recesses a day in elementary. We have pre-K through 5th graders or 3rd graders in our building. And I'm saying up to middle school, high school, like we all need to play. There was one time that I learned that my niece, her school didn't have recesses for middle school. And I really wondered why. Like, why don't we give them opportunities to move and get outdoors and breathe fresh air? Like, even if that's all it is, even if you don't call it recess, even if you call it like an outdoor walk, an exploration time outside, like they are going to eat it up. Like, bring out the 4-square ball. I'm going to do I do the Play Better blog monthly now for the Teach Better team. I'm going to do a whole thing on games for recess because we had the best time playing 4-square. And when I had 1st graders, one of our standards had to do with rules and procedures. And that's my co-teacher and I, we took them out and we taught them the rules of 4-square. And how, and so we built in that play. And then when you teach them how to do those games, then you see them picking up on that. And we have less of that in our world where, especially now, like you can't go out in your neighborhood and do a pickup game, a basketball. And so when kids have those things to their disposal, like they're going to start having those social interactions. So play is great for those communication skills, for social skills, learning that life does have rules and expectations. There are just so many benefits to play. And Jeff, I was watching you and Dave live, and I was thinking about your running journey. Mm-hmm. And one of the big things about play is that it releases endorphins in your body, and endorphins make you happy. And when you're an adult and you think, oh, I don't really go play because you're not, building something or running in the dirt. When you are running, you're releasing those same chemicals in your brain. Mm-hmm. So when you get that runner's high, that's all from endorphins. And when you are playing, when you allow kids to play and have that free play and run and do those things, those same endorphins or chemicals in your brain are released. So if you give your kids 2 recesses a day and you allow them to run, if you want the science behind it, you're releasing important happy chemicals into their brains just naturally.
Mm-hmm. If I'm hearing you right, then you're telling me that I'm supposed to be running twice a day then, yes?
Well, You don't have to run twice a day.
You were saying that makes so much sense, but I was also thinking like me specifically, when I run, I have the best run as far as like I run better, I run stronger, I feel better, I'm happier with it when I don't set a route and I just kind of explore. And like as you were talking, I'm thinking like, hey, that's another form of me playing. I'm playing around in my city. I'm running around. I'm checking that street there, and I'm trying to like I'm kind of seeing if I can get lost. Like that's when I have the best, and it just makes so much sense the way you phrase it there. So I love it. I'm glad I play more. Now I still build things and goof around like a kid too, but that's a whole other story.
And Jeff, we're gonna get you to play better with her new blog that she's doing at TeachBetter.
When does that start? I should know this, but I don't.
It did start.
It already started.
I released my first one, but it's released the second week of each month. And so there'll be another one coming up. I am really excited about it. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm doing some really cool interviews with people who play in different ways. And so it's going to be a really fun read. And I hope that a lot of people will check it out.
Well, I'm so glad that you're doing that. I'm so glad that every single month we can expect that. And a special shout out to Carrie, who runs our blog at teachbetter.com, that kind of makes this all come together every single month. Bree, I know that people are going to be so excited to follow this blog when it publishes the second week of every month, because there's a lot of good content in there. Well, the main thing I love, and it really came in the comments as well, Andrea was talking about it, that just because we're in a tough time doesn't mean play can go away, right? And I think that was, for me, a really important point that you highlighted as you were sharing all these ideas, because so many people are talking about the restrictions they have on them, the things that can't exist in schools right now. And I really love your perspective of saying, hey, you know what? It does have to look different. It's going to look different. But it doesn't mean it has to be bad. So what's the spin that we can put on this? What are the supports we can put in to make these things happen? Because then, even if we do nothing else besides like have it in the back of our minds, we can pay attention to our news feeds, what our friends are sharing, blogs that are coming out, resources, so that when something comes about that we can use in our classroom, we're thinking, yes, that's how I'm going to implement play this year with my students this fall. I think it's so important, Bree, that you continue to echo that all over the place so people don't forget.
Yes. And I think that right now, when you talk about restrictions equal stress, right? So we try to figure it out, and we try to figure it out. We try to problem solve it, but then it adds stress. Well, play, when you have those endorphins and you have the serotonin running, like that is the remedy for stress. So
I love that. I also think restrictions also, like, it's an opportunity to be creative, right? It forces us to be creative, forces us to think outside of the box, even though we're putting in a smaller box at this point, right? So, but I think, like you just said, it's a remedy. It's more important than ever that we are focused on play, so that we can have that then endorphins are released and feel better. So I'm excited about it.
So fun. Bree, we're so excited about your book, and I'm so glad that this is like one of many. I know you have such big plans for all the things that you're doing and just to impact education, but so fitting for this time of the year, so necessary for, parents and educators. You have such a wide audience that this book is going to be able to support, whether it be just a beautiful moment at home, relaxing with students, or bringing it into your classroom, no matter what the grade level are, and using it as a mentor text and a great way to evaluate writing pieces. It's just so great. We're so excited and proud of you. Honestly, it's really all that it is.
Thank you so much. I feel it. I feel the excitement.
Can we also celebrate the fact that a lot of people may not know, but Bree has also been nominated and won the I don't know the exact depth, but you're in the running for Teacher of the Year for the state of Ohio right now.
Yeah, I am. Like, I am the
can we celebrate that for a second? Is that all right? That's super cool. So congrats on that. That's awesome.
Will you tell us a little about it?
Yeah, sort of what that process has been and where we're at in that process, because I'm not exactly sure.
So I was nominated for the Teacher of the Year, and then you go through a process where you have a lot of writing and evidence to provide to the state, and then it goes through a committee, and then they decide based on districts. So like Ohio is broken up into 11 districts. And so I was the winner for our district. So there's different counties within our district. So it's like Ashland County, Wayne County, part of Cuyahoga County. So it's like a part of Ohio that I am officially the winner of. And then what happens is they pick 4 finalists to go for the whole state. And so I will find out on the 31st if I am one of those 4 people to go on to the next round.
Week, 1 week from today.
I know, 1 week from today. Yes.
Well, Bree, just know that anything you do, we are going to be supportive and celebrate you like crazy. So we just cannot wait to not only celebrate the book, but these awards, and then just like all the goodness that is around you is just so fabulous.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say real quick before we go, if any of my Ashland City people are watching, there are some awesome reading opportunities through the Read Around Arrow Nation. And there's more information on our website about that, but they can go around the city of Ashland. And so there's different parks and there's different different schools in our district for K-5. And when they scan that QR code, they get to hear a read aloud from either a teacher in our district, a community member. There's some, even the mayor of Ashland has a read aloud on there that he did for me. So I am just super excited about that opportunity, but it's a choose your own adventure. So there's this opportunity, but they also have if they want to just document the books they read on a summer shelfie or do some different things. But reading in the summer is the best way to prevent that summer slide.
It's so important, Bree. I really appreciate you mentioning that. That's so cool. And I really hope that if you're listening to this and you don't live in that area, reach out to Bree to see how to put that together, because that's awesome.
Yes. Super. That's really, really cool. So Bree, so just happy for you. So honored to be able to celebrate it with you. And super excited for everything going on. Rae, I know you want to mention something, so that's what we're
I know. I see her. She's like,
before we go,
do you want to mention that first? And then I was going to go ahead. You can mention that first. Then I'll say what I was going to say.
How do you know what I was going to say? How do you know what you're going to say?
I have an idea what you're going to say. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I was just going to ask Bree if there's any last message she wants to share about the book, and then we'll sign off. But why don't you share what you're sharing for, and we'll end with Bree. I think that's the way to do it.
We'll end with Bree. Mine, Bree, I'm sorry, is slightly off topic of what we talked about, but I want to make sure our Teach Better family is aware of all the celebrations going on in the team. A major celebration that we are celebrating is your book, the amazing things you do for the Teach Better Ambassador program, so many fabulous things. We also have another member of our Teach Better Ambassador family, Evan Whitehead, who's doing a webinar that starts on Monday. And we're so just excited for Evan. He's partnering with us to do it, and he's just such a wonderful fit for this webinar series. So I won't talk about it too much. We just threw it in the comments, so go check out the website. But we are doing a webinar with Evan Whitehead, who is another member of our Teach Better Ambassador family, called Safe Space EDU, which is all about creating a safe space this August. And I think it's going to be perfectly paired, Bree, as we talk about creating a safe space for all students, then talking about play and bringing in play to facilitate some of those conversations with students and everything in between. So if you're listening right now, I'm nervous because that starts Monday. So if you're not registered, this is kind of like a last call. So make sure that you get registered over on the website just to as a final little blurb. Yep.
And most of our webinars, with your registration, you get the replays as well. So that's included. And I mean, you get 4 sessions with Evan, and he's right. Brilliant. So with that, Bree, any last sort of thoughts you want us all to take away before we either go buy the book on Amazon right now or get our copy of the mail that we've already ordered?
Right. Well, something that's super exciting is that it's also available on Target. Yes. And on EduMatch, you can get a discount for just buying 10 books. So I think that is an amazing way if you contact Sarah Thomas at edumatch.org. But what I just want to leave you with is I hope that everybody that's listening gets an opportunity to go play in a way that is important to you and that makes you feel great today.
I love it. Congratulations, BreAnn. We love you. We're so happy for you. Thanks for letting us share this with you. Everyone else, have an amazing Friday, and go follow Bree. Get the book. We appreciate you. See ya.